and try and create female characters that are real, living, breathing, three-dimensional characters as opposed to just being cookie cutter.
So talking about breaking stereotypes, and Vasant, in terms of genres, this is, or you've always paid tribute to the, the Vijay Anand era, and, you love the dark comedy genre. Does OTT allow you to experiment a lot more? What more would you like to see when it comes to the digital medium and the kind of work that you experiment with?
Yeah, I mean, all like major platforms or avenues, they start off with the correct ideology and with the correct ideas in place. It's only when it gets too successful the problems start. But I think as of now, it's in a right space wherein the OTTs plus theatricals, they have seen their rounds of success and failure. So now I think the shoulders back on their head, and we're not really going ahead of ourselves, but backing content and trying to go with a vision and not trying to go with preconceived notions of what works and what doesn't. So I think it's a cyclical nature, everything is. And now I think we are in a nice, comfortable space wherein even in the future you will see films, especially on OTT, backed more with a vision rather than just algorithm or what works.
Okay. Raj, talk to us about the experience of Monica, Oh My Darling. The working with everybody here, the kind of role that you had to play this time, some of the differences, in character, the comedy, the darkness, what was different, what was exciting, what was exhilarating?
Well, Monica, My Darling is one of the quirkiest scripts I read till date. And I loved the script the moment I read it, and I knew that Vasan was editing it. And I've been a big fan of Vasan's work. I've known him for a very long time now and wanted to work with him. He doesn't know it, but when he was making Mad Kudar Nahi Hota, I got to know that he's looking for a martial artist. And me, being a trained martial artist, I actually called Anurag sir. And I said, sir, मैं भी martial artist हूँ. And he said, तेरा कोई video है? And I sent him actually a video, a small clip of mine where I'm kicking a football. It's on my Instagram somewhere. And of course, nothing worked out after that. But anyways, I'm glad it happened with Monica. So big fan of Vasan since then. And Shriram sir, whose brainchild this story is, I think we all love him, the kind of films he makes. And these two ladies sitting here, Huma and Radhika. Huma is a very close friend as well. आप लोग हमें, मैं, Patrulekha, Huma, another friend Vivek, we chill at home also, almost every day, just doing bakwas ki batein. And both are brilliant actors. Radhika, I never got a chance to work with her, always wanted to work with her. And I think, but this is not enough. I think we need to do another film together. Same goes for Huma. But I think this was a very easy set. The kind of environment Vasan created on set was, everybody was having fun with their lines within the scenes. And Vasan never really pressurized us. He kept us free. He would give us that freedom to improvise and come up with our own stuff sometimes, which I love personally. So I think it was a very easygoing set. We shot during COVID, just right after the second wave. Yeah, it was tough that way, but I think we never really got any pressure, thanks to the great production team.
Vasan, what was it like reconnecting with everybody?
So obviously we used to bump socially on and off, but this is something that was really special. I mean, this is a film that I was dying to make. The script I really loved, and the cast that came together. I mean, then after that it was like really exciting every day, and also watching their individual processes was also fun. Because what I like about Raj is, he first gauges what his co-actor wants to do and then just goes according to the co-actor. He doesn't impose whatever he wants to do. So, which was something lovely that I observed. And I think everyone gets affected by each other's performance, which means that one is not really in one's own bubble, but actually there at that moment wanting to experience characters. So I think all these things I could feel on set. Whenever they were acting, they were taking off each other's energies. There was a lot of respect, and it's a joy to watch. Yeah, when those kind of energies happen.
Okay. So Huma, you're playing a femme fatale in Monica, Oh My Darling, which is not quite a vamp, right? Tell us a little bit more about this character.
I mean, I have to first thank Vasan, for casting me as Monica, because I probably am not the conventional choice for a character like Monica, the femme fatale, the hot chick that everyone kind of is after. So, and I feel like he sort of so if I get any appreciation for this character or whatever, I think, I mean, it's a character I think we've created together, because it's also the maker has to first see it, and then as an actor you also contribute and you create like that character. It's fun. I mean, the only thing that was important for me is that, you know, whenever you see a very ambitious woman or a very hot woman, one comes with a lot of preconceived notions about her morality or who she is and all of that. There's a lot of judgment that comes along with it. So we were just having fun with it, and how do you like break that and also see her as a person. I think we managed to do that, you know, because what you see is not what you get with all the characters actually in the film. And the same is true for Monica as well. I think it's definitely one of my most favorite performances that I had, you know, also such amazing actors to play with. I mean, although Radhika and I, we've done 2 films now, but we've never really had a scene together. So I blame Vasan and I blame Sriram, because we were in Badlapur together and we never had a scene together.
Seems like we've worked together,
but we haven't actually, technically speaking. No, although Vasan did create a moment which was never there in the script, where it's like his Paro Chandramukhi moment, where we sort of meet but we don't really meet. You know, it was like that. Yeah. And Raj, of course, is a very dear friend and one of the best actors we have, you know, in the country. And like what Vasan said, you know, he just a great actor to just play off. Like there's never like, oh, ye meri line hai, tu aise kar. You know, like some people come with a lot of like blocks. It was just easy, and we had some really like beautiful scenes together that I'm very, very proud of, and I've said that to him. So thank you, Raj.
Spoiler alert, but I'll say it. There's a scene. Please go and check whenever the film comes out on 11th November. There's a scene between me and Huma, which is actually a physical fight scene. You have to watch out for that. It's okay, spoiler alert, but yeah, it's one of the best scenes ever, I think.
Too much fun we had.
No, and don't go by the trailer. There's actually a lot of surprises in this film from get-go. And Radhika, you have a lot of fun toying with his character in the film. You know, and it's based on a Punekar. I think you're from Pune. Is this based on anyone in real life?
No. There's a personality inside Vasan, maybe based on that little person inside him. But no. No. It's such a fun character. I mean, someone who absolutely adores authority, so could be based on a lot of people.
And that's breaking stereotypes in itself, isn't it? I mean, and I think you say that in the film.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's as Huma was saying earlier, I think he makes, he's even my casting, I mean, I was so surprised that he approached me for that part, you know, and it's so nice for actors in general to be challenged like that and put in uncomfortable situations and say that, okay, you've never done this, now do that. So I'm very grateful.
Vasan, what's with the robots in the film? I mean, should I say it's about time the robots reach Bollywood, or I mean, you know, where did they come from?
So our film is an adaptation of a Japanese novel, and the robots were there in the Japanese novel, and being Japanese, anything can be there. So.
All right, cool. We won't give away too much, but you'll see that as well when you do watch it. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, what your favorite moments were in the film. A favorite moment, the most difficult to film, or the funniest, or anything that you can share with us behind the scenes.
I think we went with the flow. I mean, what happens in movies is you write the script, but then you shoot for logistics. Unfortunately, not every director or every filmmaker has the bandwidth to shoot chronologically. We kind of took the bull by the horns and kind of shot all the really heightened emotion scenes very early on, which I was really jittery about. But now looking back, I think glad it worked out, and probably, you know, it probably worked out for the best. So you never know. Cinema is a very unpredictable medium. There's no ideal way to shoot a film. There'll be certain logistics that will be given to you, and you'll have to wrap the film around it. And then you make your choices. So the film happened in that way. So which is why there was no moment to think of funny things and all, because you always had the heart in your mouth. But they really made it easy.
But I have to say this, he's the real funny one on set. Like normally it's the actors that are saying we are playing pranks and all. Vasan is the prankster on set. Tell them about your bottle challenge.
Oh no, that is just stress relief, yeah. So the DOP, that is the director of photography, Swapnil, he's very good at flipping bottles. So when I also took it on, and just felt like, you know, like a good stress reliever. And but yeah, I think Swapnil took it to a whole new level of obsession.
All right. Raj, you've got a couple of other roles coming up as well. And since we're talking about breaking stereotypes, I just want to understand how you're further pushing those boundaries. What can we look forward to? I think you've got Bheer with Anubhav Sinha coming up, and Mr. and Mrs. Mahi with Dharma as well. What are you looking forward to? Because you're now at the top of, you have been at the top of your game for a while. You've been surprising and delighting the audiences with almost every piece of work. What's next?
Well, I'm trying to choose films or series which are really close to my heart and films, that I can be proud of. I don't really sign a film thinking about anything else that, what will it do at the box office, because nobody really knows that. So at least do the kind of work that you can be proud of. After 10 years, you would look back and people would still talk about those films. Like right now, we were just standing outside and people were still talking about Newton, our team, your team, and Shahid and Omerta, which is great. I want that in my filmography. So the next will be Bheed with Anubhav Sinha, as you said. Another one of the finest filmmakers we have in the country, so socially aware. Then there's Guns and Gulabs with Raj and DK, who are just amazing. Then there's Mr. and Mrs. Mahi with Janvi Kapoor, which is being produced by Dharma Productions. So 3 very different films, but films that I can't wait for you guys to watch.
And at a personal level, what were the stereotypes that you had to break when you first started out in the industry? And how is the perspective, or where you're standing from, how have things changed today?
Well, I was starting out, I used to go for auditions, and very rarely somebody would audition me for the lead part. They would always audition me for, a friend's part, or maybe a character who's got a 2-3 days work. And but I think Dibakar saw something, and actually I really had to push for that audition as well, but I'm glad I did, because that became my first film and things changed after that. But I was aware, when I came to the city, I was I'm still not the most good-looking guy in the room, or not the tallest guy in the room, not the best build muscles, but I'm the most hard-working guy. I'm the hardest worker in the room. That is something which nobody can take away from me. And my love for my work is enough for me to keep going. I think that is something which has kept me going. A lot of people ask me that now, take it easy. It's fine. People know that you're a good actor now. Think about anything else. I said, no, it's not for people. It's for me. It was always for me. It will always be for me. I can't just take it lightly. I really have to give it all, because I love what I do. And all of us, I think we really love what we do.
No, and that comes through. And Huma, you were talking earlier about the kind of response you now see on digital, with the power of OTT. And in fact, Abhishek was echoing that earlier on today as well. Tell us about the kind of response you had for some of these very career-defining roles, whether it's Leila, whether it's what you're doing now, whether it's Double XL. Are you seeing the change?
In terms of
breaking the mold, in terms of people now adapting to the unconventional and seeing it as a new norm?
I think people are always ready for new content. I think, and what OTT has managed to even do further is make it more apparent. See, there's a certain conventional theatrical wisdom that, we don't know who created it, but oh, this doesn't work, that works. This is the kind of format of storytelling that people want to watch. But that's not necessarily true. Or these are the kind of stories that need to be seen or heard. Or this is what a hero should look like. Or this is what a heroine should look like. And this is not necessarily true. I think if you give people engaging content, they will try, and make time and pay money to watch it. And I feel definitely there's a huge sort of acceptability about that. Whether it's been subjects like Raj has done a film called Badhai Do, which is about homosexuality, which was really widely well received. Or just the kind of response I'm seeing from people in general, even with a Double XL, trailer coming out. Women just crying and being like, thank you for making this film, because we feel seen, we feel heard. We feel somebody is telling us that just because we look a certain way, we don't deserve to be showcased or spoken about. And I feel like, and I've said this before also, I think it's a film for all people who've been made to feel that they are misfits somehow, and you don't need to necessarily feel that. So definitely I feel that there's a greater degree of acceptability and receptiveness to new themes, because I think people are also bored. And I think post-COVID, what has genuinely happened is that there's been an explosion of just the content people have consumed. We all have seen, global cinema, regional cinema, because we had nothing else to do. And I feel overall, the general content watching IQ, if I can call it that, has kind of, the bar has been raised. So we have to, as the industry, just give better stories to people to watch. And I think they will.
Are you getting comparisons to Helen post the release of this song? Comparisons to Helen and the original?
For the song, no, not at all. I think पाप है ये पाप नहीं करना चाहिए हमको कभी भी classics को touch मत करो. And I think Helen ma'am is too special. So I think we had this conversation also when we were prepping for the song. एक तो ये जो मेरे director हैं ये और विजय गांगुली मुझे एक दिन office बुला के they are showing me like a video of all Helen ma'am and Parveen Babi's like footage cut to the song saying ऐसा सा कुछ shoot करेंगे. So I have died saying how do you think I or anybody can match up to what they have done. But I think the song is nice. It's turned out really well and we had too much fun shooting it. But I don't think you should touch a classic. But what we have done is try to create a original number which still has that retro feel and vibe. So kind of like a throwback and an ode to that era, which all of us really love. I think what Vasan set out to make is this very noir film set in, India. And I feel we managed to succeed in doing that.
Radhika, in terms of, having now, worked with some of the other platforms, share with us what you feel are the kind of opportunities one does get with Netflix in the kind of variation of roles, the fact that you're able to perhaps experience a whole host of different, kinds of characters. What has that experience been like for you, especially now that you're doing this after a while?
I think what OTT platforms have brought is that there are two things. I think one is that the world has come closer in the sense that you can view content from across the world. So you're compared directly to that. So your standards need to really meet each other's. That's one, I think. And secondly, every project, whether it's a series or film, gets equal opportunity on a platform, OTT platform. In theaters, you don't have equal opportunity. A bigger producer will book more shows and more, and so numbers also matter. Here, you don't have to pay extra ticket to switch to another film or another series. So content started mattering more. And so I think because content mattered, then performances also mattered, writing mattered, everything mattered. And I think that's why, there is more content in general. There's more employment generated. So that's why a lot of people finally have work. And people who are so good and haven't been able to fetch as much work because of the numbers and the mathematics of the business are now getting the opportunities. So let's wait another 4 years and see where we are at.
And you also have a vantage point in terms of what's happening globally, in terms of the way OTT has allowed some of the content from here to be at par. And again, Abhishek on an earlier panel today was also talking about how very often some of our releases here are part of the global top 10. Do you feel even in terms of the topics that we're choosing, we are now a lot more international, we are covering more ground, we are bringing to the world some of these very genuine stories and issues?
I think we are expanding, right? In the sense that the more content, the more people need to come and make films and series. And then so the more, I hate the word outsiders, but I'm going to use it because the more people come from different backgrounds and diverse backgrounds, they will tell their stories. When people from every different, background, history, they tell their own genuine stories. They are universal. The more honest you are, the more universal you are. So I think that's also why.
Okay, Vasan, what's the one Bollywood stereotype you absolutely detest?
Stereotyping is obviously. We were tone deaf for a very long time. So I think we are now waking up and trying to understand other point of views. Earlier, I think we were pretty lazy and also had the privilege of ignoring any other point of view, but whatever was working. So we could categorize people, we could just, in broad strokes. I think now the conversations have opened up. So there is no one Bollywood stereotype as such, because some over the period of types could be loving as well, like use of songs and all. I don't really detest them, but I think talking about people, talking about race, talking about caste, talking about class, I think, and gender, I think those are the stereotypes that probably need an awakening, and probably now there is a lot more aware conversation that is happening. So slow and steady, nothing should be, this change shouldn't be arm twisted. Otherwise, then everything becomes the same. So.
Fair enough. In terms of what you've perhaps enjoyed on streaming platforms of late, anything else that you find has perhaps, broken across boundaries, that has stood out, whether it be in terms of a story or a role? Huma, would you like to take that one?
Well, I really enjoyed Squid Game. I mean, I really, really enjoyed Squid Game. I don't know, and I'm eagerly waiting for season 2.
Well, good to know, good to know. Raj, what about you?
I enjoyed Money Heist a lot. That was a Spanish show, a show which was released in Spain, and not many people actually took notice of that. And then Netflix picked it up, and then it became a rage. Now we all know who Professor is, who Tokyo is. So I think, that's the reason I think OTT plays such an important part in bringing cinema along the whole world, making it one. Because I would have never been able to watch a Money Heist or a Squid Game earlier. So I think now White Tiger is reaching in US, in UK, in Singapore, India, and we're hopeful for Monica My Darling as well, that it would release in more than 196 plus countries and we would get the same kind of love.
Absolutely. As an actor, Radhika, how do you prioritize in terms of the various roles that you get versus, balance in all the other passions that you probably have in personal life? How do you prioritize? Do you get time to do everything? And, what's the next goal for you?
I am just learning to prioritize. I think after the pandemic, I think it was a good wake-up call in a way to understand that there are so many other things I like and I want to also be able to do that. So just becoming more choosy, picking work that is purely, because I like it, and also learning different things, using my time in the best possible way.
And Huma, you've spoken about this too. You've talked about how, post the pandemic, it's really changed your worldview. Give us an insight into that again and how it's changed you as an actor in terms of how you think.
I know, I just stopped caring too much about what other people were thinking. And I was focusing more, I am trying to focus more on my craft and what I want to put out there in the world. I think what happens is when you're in this journey of, being an actor or an artist, you get so sometimes bogged down by external opinions. And I think I maybe somewhere in the middle kind of lost my way, where I wasn't so sure, or at least I wasn't backing my own instincts. I think what it allowed me to do these past few years is just slow down and be like, okay, question my reasons for what am I doing? Why am I doing? What do I want to leave out there in the world? And I feel it's really made me braver and not so, concerned about too many external opinions as opposed to my own internal voice. And I think that's a very, it's a very peaceful space to be in. So I could be doing films or characters or attempting things and they may not work and I may fall flat on my face. But it's fine because, I'm just going to have fun because we have to stop taking ourselves so seriously anyway.
Absolutely. Raj, you never get complacent after so many hits and successes, and you're never tempted to get a little bit complacent?
No, I can't, because this is the only thing which keeps me alive, which keeps me going, and I as I said earlier, I can't take it lightly. My best time, I think, of my life is when I'm in front of the camera and I'm on a film set. That's where I'm the happiest. Apart from being with Padavleka, of course, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much and all the best with this latest release. We hope to see a lot more of you here on this platform. A big round of applause to our panelists, please. Could I also request Dev Bhattacharya to join us on stage to offer a vote of thanks, Group Executive President at Aditya Birla Group.